Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. Um, as you all know, my name is Ismail Abdullah Ibrahim, and I will be your host and moderator for tonight. I hope you can hear me clearly. If you can, please react with any emoji. Am I audible? Can someone please confirm if you can hear me? React with any emoji.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So
Yes, sir.
thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we have come a long way. We have mastered the mindset, designed our studies, searched the literature, analyzed the data, and learned the ethics of writing. But today we tackle one of the final frontiers. You can have a perfect manuscript sitting on your laptop, but if you don't know how to navigate the submission portal or how to survive the peer review process, that work will never reach the eyes of the world. Tonight, we demystify the journey from submitted to published. Before we go on, a quick final reminder on the Mentorship Pair Connect program. Uh, I must reiterate a point of great importance regarding the next phase of our training. So please remember that the MPP is strictly merit-based. Admission is not automatic. We're looking for the most passionate, determined, and engaged participants. Following our classes, we'll conduct an analytical session to test your practical application, and then a final and assessment. So only those who prove their dedication through attendance, engagement, and their performance in these evaluations will be grouped into the MPP for hands-on research. This is your chance to show us that you are ready for the real world, so please engage. And a few housekeeping rules. I have noticed that, is it because I stopped giving the housekeeping rules, that people will come in, but they fail to mute their mic? It's very important because you can distract the speaker while he is presenting, which can come off as very rude. So, as we wait for the speaker, I call on us to please read through his citation. We are hosting someone who is very experienced in, especially in the submission process, and he has been doing it right from day one, right from when he was a student. So we would probably gain a lot. Thank you. All right, so Malik will soon be joining us, and a brief introduction or a brief statement about him. He's so I think I have to reiterate this again. Please, housekeeping rules. If you are coming in and you don't mute your mic, I would have to remove you from the room because it would be very rude to be interrupting the speaker while he's presenting. We had that issue last week a lot. So as I was saying, our speaker today is a global health researcher at the Medical Research Circle with a specialized background in public health, artificial intelligence, and the One Health framework. His work is the cutting edge of using data-driven models to solve health challenges in low and middle income settings. So when it comes to publishing, his track record is nothing short of extraordinary. He has authored over 150 peer-reviewed publications, 150, with over 700 citations. So this means he has successfully navigated the submission process hundreds of times. Emphasis on that. He has done it over and over again. He's a collaborator with international institutions and a leader in digital health innovation. So, once again, please keep your microphones muted and prepare for your questions in the chat box. All right, I can see that
Hello, everyone.
our
Good evening.
speaker for today has joined us. Good evening, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and we are ready for you.
All right. Sorry for the delay. I was caught up with something. All right. So we are welcome to this section of this webinar. My name is Malik Olatunde. I will be presenting the topic on. I'll be presenting the topic on building. Manuscript submission, journal rejection, and acceptance. So I will be presenting my slides now. Let me know if you see my slide. Okay. Okay, just a minute. Okay. Can you see my slide?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. Okay. So the topic will be navigating the academic publishing process with the sub theme submission, peer review, and rejection. So as a way of introduction, what is publishing? So publishing is how science is shared, evaluated, and validated. In research or research publication, there's a process that needs to be followed, and the first process is conducting a research. And after you conduct a research, I believe maybe you might have knowledge about this before, but let me just do a recap. So you have to conduct a research before you publish it. And the aim of publication is to showcase your study, what you have conducted, let people realize or be aware of what you have done in a particular place or location. So if you are interested in conducting a study on malaria in Nigeria or in a part of Nigeria, you have to do the necessary process for you to, have the data after, collecting data, analyzing data, and stuff like that. So you need to publish this study of yours so that people will understand what's the what is the manuscript or publication is all about, or the research all about. So what are your findings, your results, depending on what your aims and objectives of that study. So publication is actually um, a process that needs to be done after you conduct a study. So most people, or let me say students, medical students, got it wrong when they finish conducting studies and they just abandon the projects. They will feel maybe they have done it for their maybe undergraduate projects or postgraduate studies. So they will abandon it, but that's not the case. After you have conduct the study, you need to publish it. So this publication has to be, shared among people, among scholars, either within your community or outside your community. Then it will be evaluated and validated. So in terms of validation, it means that it will undergo some kind of some pre-review process before it can be published. Then publishing influences academic promotion, funding, research visibility. In terms of maybe you want people to have global awareness or global picture of your studies, or in an academic setting, either you are looking for a promotion in terms of maybe a reader, a professor, etc. Okay, so all these things are necessary for an individual to attain such thing. Then funding process too. Yes, some organizations can call for grants and etc. So this will help you to get the grants. I mean, yeah, the funding for your study. Then there is what is called a manuscript life cycle, and I've explained it, in my introduction. It simply means that an individual need to prepare the manuscript. After preparation, you submit it. It undergo peer review process, and there will be a decision. Now, preparation of a manuscript, it requires a lot. Okay, a lot of people get exhausted. So before you prepare your manuscript, you need to have a team. A team that we actually be be involved collectively. Research, it's not an individual process, it's a collective process, meaning that me alone cannot do it alone. Either 2 people or 3 people need to come together to look at how they want to go about it. You understand? Because it's actually let's say, cumbersome process. So it needs peer group, or let me say teamwork. So when you prepare your manuscript, you need to have an outline for the preparation. Either you need to check a specific journal. We'll come to that later, and look at their requirements or guidelines. Then you follow submission, maybe through, and most of the time it's through online submission. So there is a portal that you need to log in to check either you registered. After registration, you need to now submit through their portal. So you create an account, just as maybe a student, you create an account, so you follow the process. Then after submission, you undergo peer review, and there will be a decision either to accept, either to revise, or to reject. So note that a manuscript is not finished when you write it, it is finished when it survives peer review. The peer review process is one of the limitations of publications, okay, because there are a lot of peer reviewers that we want to find the reason not to accept your publication, so that is it. So moving forward, the next slide is journal selection. Now, after you have prepared your manuscript, okay, you need to assign an author. One of the authors will be a corresponding author. And what is a corresponding author? A corresponding author is that particular person. It can be first, it can be second author, it can be third, it can be fourth, it can be last author, depending. So this corresponding author will oversees to all the manuscripts and submission. He or she will be like I say, a middleman or a middle person between the journal and the authors, the other authors, the co-authors. You understand? So he will be the one to submit the manuscripts, will be the one to select the right journal for submission, will be to oversee if there's any revision for that particular manuscript, and also sometimes might be the one to also oversee the funding process, either paying of the article processing charges. They call it APC. Okay, so selecting the wrong journal is one of the causes of rejection. Okay, because most people don't actually select the right journals. So you see, when you submit your manuscript to a particular journal, it will determine if it will be accepted or rejected at first place. Okay, so it's a rate limiting step. So, for example, if your research is about children, maybe say pediatric age group, maybe under 5 children, and maybe it's it's about childhood malaria or pneumonia or measles, okay, among under 5 children. And after you have conducted a study, you have the right data, you have analyzed the data, and you went to submit that particular manuscript to a journal in adult medicine, or let's say in orthopedic medicine, it will be accepted, it will be rejected, before it undergo peer review. You understand? So it means that the corresponding author needs to find a right journal for your manuscript. So the key criteria to this includes the scope. You ask yourself, this my paper, this my study or my manuscript, does it fit this journal? Of course, because the journal has names, either Annals of Medicine, Annals of Surgery. There are a lot of journals now. Maybe BMC Pediatrics, BMC Orthopedics, depending, BMJ, a lot of them. There are a lot of them. So you check, you ask yourself the questions. This my study, does it fit in this journal? Then you look at the impact factor and indexing. Yeah, we have a lot of journals that have high impact factors and low impact factors, and there are some journals with high indexing and low indexing. So what I mean by impact factor is, impact factor will help you, or let me say the corresponding author or the authors, to have to know if your journals will be feasible to others, so that they can cite it. Because you are not a researcher is not complete when his or her works are not cited, in the academics field. You understand? So you have to select a journal that has at least moderate, if not high impact factors, or moderate impact factors, maybe from, let me say, 1 and above. Okay, 1 and above. Then indexing, try to select some journals that has high indexing, such as PubMed index, Scopus index, okay, DOAJ index. There are a lot of indexing, Google Scholar indexing. You understand? So that once someone try to, Google search your work online, it will pop up. For example, if you Google search malaria in Nigeria on Google Scholar, for example, you will see that there are some articles that will be pumped up. Those articles that you see that are pumping up is because they have been submitted in journals with high impact factors and indexing. You understand? Then you also consider open access and article processing charges, APCs. You understand? Because open access is also one of the criteria to when you are selecting journals, to increase the chance of being accepted. You understand? Most open access journals they require funding. You understand? If you check their one journal, you will see that they will ask you to pay some particular amount of money, after acceptance of the of the article or your manuscript. So, and they have ranges, okay? Why closed access journals don't require funding, paying of APC after acceptance. So these open access journals are actually competitive. They are competitive in terms of funding of payment of the articles as post acceptance. There are a lot of journals that gives free APC waivers. APC waivers. So either with a discount or free or full. So, and there are some categories of countries that have been listed according to their GDP, if I'm right. So you need to check the specific criteria of those journals. You understand? Either depending on your country, you understand? So you need to consider all these things for you to select, because if you select some journals with high APCs, you might be limited in funding and you might not be able to, unless maybe the team or the authors are ready to contribute some amount of money after acceptance. So you need to actually ask yourselves, before you go ahead. Then journal selection, we have some certain tools that are required for journal selection. And these tools, they call them, examples are journal finder tools, Scopus directory of open access journals. So these are tools that will help you to select your journal correctly. So moving forward one by one, journal finder tools are online platforms. They are provided by publishers that helps authors to identify appropriate journals for their manuscript based on this, either the title, the abstract, the keywords, and subject area. So I give an example on that malaria. Childhood malaria, let's say in Southeast Nigeria, for example. Okay, so you can directly type that article, type to these journal finders. You just go to a particular journal. Okay, I think I have it in my list. Yes, I mean a Sevier journal finder, Springer Nature journal suggester, Willie journal finder, Taylor and Francis journal suggester. So all this, we have Sage too. Okay, I didn't. So there are a lot of finder tools that will assist you to find the right journals. So once you put the title of this your manuscript, you put it in their icon, search icon. It will actually suggest all this for you. You understand? So then the other one is abstract. Yeah, you can some journals. Then we have Research Square too. Research Square is also a finder tool too. Okay, so you can copy paste. You can copy and paste your abstracts, in this journal finder tools. So they will help you to select. They will give you selection, some kind of selection. So sorry, they recommend these journals for you. Then your keywords are also important. Keywords, maybe 5 to 7 keywords are important. Then subject area either maybe internal medicine, pediatrics, ops and gynae, depending on your subject area. So that is how you do it. Then I've said this as examples. Then this, I said the way they work. I mentioned that the other time. You could copy paste your manuscript title and abstract to those finders. Then you see if the journal match your topic or can accept your article type, fits your research scope. Okay. Now another method of journal selection is using Scopus. Scopus is a large abstract and citation database. Okay, it is a comprehensive bibliographic database that indexing in most peer-reviewed journals, conference proceedings, books. It is owned by Elsevier, but indexing journals from many publishers. So another database is PubMed. Okay, Google Scholar, ResearchGate. Okay, those are I just mentioned one of the commonest ones. Which is Scopus. Now the other one is DOAG, which is Directory of Open Access Journals. It's a free community curated database that lists legitimate peer review, fully open access journals. Now it helps to the key focus includes transparency, ethical publishing, open access quality standards. Okay, so you can simply type DOJ on Google, okay, and to direct you on how to go about the journal selection. Now, how do you prepare your manuscript? Preparing manuscript involves three process. We have what is called IMRAD structured formatting guidelines, ethical consideration. The IMRAD structured simply means introduction, methods, results, A for standard, for and discussion. Okay. Now, it is a standard format used to organize scientific research papers. Okay. It stands for, you ask yourself in the introduction, what is the problem of research question? For example, if you are conducting a study on malaria, okay, if you are conducting a study of malaria, childhood malaria among other 5 children, you ask yourself, what is the problem of this of this of 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 this study? Okay, like for example, if is it that children are dying? Is it that there's a high prevalence of childhood malaria among other 5? Okay. Um, okay. Then you ask yourself, why is it important? Then you ask yourself, what is the you need to know what the background and study objectives of your study. Then you look at your methods. How was the study conducted? Okay, is it conducted? Look at the study's design. Either it is cross-sectional study, either it is a case report, either it is a literature review, uh, and so on and so forth. Then you ask yourself, are the methods clearly written so that it can replicate the study? You know, the methodology of a study or research is actually the most important section in any study conducted, because it needs you need to follow um, some process or criteria so that others that might want to conduct your study, in another location might be able to replicate it. So that's why your method will have to be very sound. So, and I believe that you know about what is called method. There are some method. There are methods that are these are methods. So this required you to understand the structure of your manuscript. Then the results, you have to ask yourself, what are the findings of the results? Okay. The data, the tables, the figures, statistical outcomes, are there interpretations or no interpretations? Then the discussion. Okay, you are trying to compare and contrast. So these are just structure that you need to know when you are preparing your manuscript. Okay, because if you not prepare this, follow this structure, it might hinder either revision or rejection. Because if your introduction is not well written, your methodology is not well written, down to discussion, down to conclusion, okay, it might actually hinder uh, your acceptance. Now, another okay, I'm coming. Yes. Then another ways to prepare your manuscript is formatting guidelines, which include that you need to check the guidelines of your selected journal. If you select a journal, for example, maybe BMJ Open, you have to go to the website of that BMJ to look at. There's a section in each journal website. They call it maybe author section or for authors. So you click on that, please. You have to check if you need to check the guidelines, either for the kind of manuscript you are submitting. We have different types of manuscript submission. We have the letter to the editors. We have commentaries. We have maybe systematic reviews, literature reviews. There's another one they call original studies. That's for studies that you have actually collected data and analyzed. So you have to check what is the number of word counts per each study. If BMJ Open, for example, might require letter to editors as short as 500 words, and original studies as 3,500 words. Systematic review 5,000 words. So you have to see that your manuscript word counts are in that within that guidelines. Okay. They will ask also, some of them will ask you to prepare a title page separately. Title page is actually a separate document that is prepared that contains all the that contains all the names of the authors. All right. So that's set aside. So you have to check individual guidelines from your journal you selected. Okay. Now sometimes the title page might be included in the manuscript that you are submitting, or you need to remove the title page separately, make your manuscript anonymous. When we get to peer review process, I will explain anonymous so that there will be no any identification of any authors in your manuscripts. Okay. Then ethical considerations. So you check if your studies require ethical consideration. For example, if you are if your study require you to get ethical approval, if you conduct a study related to human subjects or animal model, there are some ethics guiding use of animals and human subjects for research. So according to the Helsinki declaration, so you need to look at how will my manuscripts get ethical approval before you start your study. So either you have to go to an institution, for example, maybe Kano, BUK, ABU, Kano, Maiduguri, maybe any institution that you are conducting that is close by to your study setting. You understand? So if you are conducting a study in Kano and maybe Kano Metropolis, so you might need to go to the local governments or Ministry of maybe Ministry of Health or even BUK itself, because I know each institution has their ethical committee. You understand? So you need to submit a proposal for them to review, and they will give you a approval letter. So you attach that approval letter in your either as supplementary files, or you can submit it together with your manuscript, depending on the guidance of that journal. Okay. So moving forward to the process, many papers are rejected before review due to technical errors, as I've said, because majority of writers or researchers or authors, they are eager to submit papers, but most of them don't actually cross-check, do some kind of proofreading before submission. So, and it's not about just submitting, because you can submit a paper, a study to a journal, and in the next few minutes, it can be rejected or sent back. It has happened to me a lot, you understand? So you have to take your time, look at each journals very well, your selected journals, look at the guidelines and check if there are some technical errors in it. So the submission process involves the use of online submission portals. Nowadays, most of these submission process are done online, unlike olden days whereby you have to visit their offices or branches, their headquarters, depending. All these journals, they have their headquarters located in a particular country. Nigeria has its own. Some Nigerian journals has their own. They have their own office. You understand? Whereby they are located, that you need to take your manuscript to them. But things have been, improved nowadays. You don't have to visit those countries. For example, maybe a frontiers in medicine, maybe located in London, for example. You don't have to go to London before you submit your manuscript to a journal. You understand? You can simply open their website and log in, create a portal for yourself or account for yourself. Then you follow the process. You understand? So it's very easy nowadays. So submission process is done using of online submission portals, and most journals use online system. As I said, either Scholar One, editorial manager. You understand? Yes. For a journal that use Scholar One is BMG, if I'm right. BMG Open. Editorial manager, I think, is Annals of Medicine. Those published by Waters and Clover, right? Then there's another online system that use Sage system. You understand? So these are the kind of online system that most journals use. You understand? Then you need to submit some required documents such as the manuscript itself, maybe it's cover letter if required. maybe figures and supplementary files. Now, as I have said earlier, manuscript submission requires a corresponding author to check their guidelines. So you have to check, either you need to submit your manuscript together with your cover letter or together with your figures. Some journals will require to submit figures separately, tables separately, or list them as legends. You understand? If you are someone that have experience in submission of, you understand better. And I will try, at the end of this, I will try to show you some published papers and see how it's being submitted. Okay, so you can list them separately, the figures or the tables separately or together. Okay, now common mistakes made during the submission process include wrong file formats. Yes, some journals will require you to submit both the manuscripts as Word documents and as PDF together, while some will only require you to submit only Word documents. You understand? Some journals will require you to submit a JPEG. Let me say, yeah, the image should be in JPEG. They will give you dimension 320 by 400. You understand? They might tell you that, okay, they don't accept PNG or MPX, depending on. So you need to check their guidelines very well before you go ahead to submit. Then another mistakes is missing documents. Okay, if you are in a hurry, you understand. Maybe, for example, you have actually indicated in your manuscript that you will be submitting. I mean, there is a figure, maybe figure 1, caption, bar chart showing prevalence of malaria among other 5, and you omitted it. You omitted the document or the file or the image in the manuscript, and you didn't even submit it as separate in your stand. They can send back the manuscript back to you, notifying the corresponding author about the mistake or the error. Then, if you ignore author's guidelines, as I explained earlier, it can actually hinder submission process. Okay. Now, peer review process. This is a quality control process in academic publishing where a submitted manuscript is critically evaluated. You understand? Now, let me point this out. Research is a scientific process, all right? And it undergoes a vigorous review process. For it to be validated, okay, in the scientific world, the reason why this is required is because most articles or manuscripts or studies conducted across the globe, most of them are used for policy making. You understand? Policy makers sit down together, look at studies that have been conducted across, and use it to make 1 or 2 policies or modify their policies in their locations, or let me say in their countries or regions. For example, looking at COVID-19 pandemic that we witnessed over the past few years now. Some studies or some researchers conducted some different studies across. Okay, how can they prepare for the next pandemic? You understand? You understand what I mean? So that it will not caught them unaware. So any such studies that you need to conduct about that kind of sensitive disease, you understand, it has to undergo a quality control check, because from your introduction, your methodology, down to your the tools you use to analyze such data. Because if you give any wrong information, it can mislead people. If you say, for example, a researcher conducted a study on COVID-19, and he said that COVID-19 can be cured by using chloroquine, for example. Those times, a lot of studies were conducted that some people say that you can use chloroquine to treat COVID-19. Some say that you can use, there are a lot of some anti-malaria medications. Some say some different kind of leaves. You understand? and people were doubting their treatment modalities then, and people were even contemplating, is it right or not? So for such articles to be accepted, experts have to come in. Those that are, they are knowledgeable in maybe infectious diseases, maybe like microbiology experts, internal medicine experts, etc. Understand? So they will come together, look at what the researchers themselves did, and read it, ask themselves questions. If this study is published and is being made aware to the people, can this help them, these people, the other people, the layman, the laymen, can it improve their knowledge? Can it reduce their knowledge? Can a government, maybe government of a country, use this to develop a certain kit, to treat such disease? If, for example, this malaria kits that we are using, or this malaria kits, there are some researchers that have sat down together, maybe the likes of PISA, the likes of Gates Foundation, the Lancet. They have studied. They have to actually got all this research to make some of these models, even including the AI tools nowadays, including ChatGPT, for example. So some group of maybe say engineers or researchers sat together, or scientists sat together. How can we prompt some algorithms so that when a person goes to online, he types this and that, those algorithms will come together and bring something for someone. So that is how research is being done. So the peer review process is very important in such, to validate the originality and the content of such manuscript before it is accepted. And that is why, if you can see that sometimes a peer review process can undergo 3 months, in fact, up to a year. I think I have actually worked and studied, like it took up to a year before it was published or accepted, because of the several revisions we need to do to make from different reviewers, because the reviewers are not together. We don't. You can conduct a study in Nigeria and submit it to a particular journal in another place, and in another country, sorry, and you will be surprised the kind of the reviewer that will review it. The reviewer can be in Japan, a Japanese, can be it can be an American, depending on on the editor that is handling your search paper. Yes, I am an editor too. So the editor will send that manuscript to different reviewers. Either the one that he felt that is expert in such area, or the one that felt that okay, he or she can create a time for the meantime to review that. And review process in journals differ. Sorry, some journals they take their time. They will give reviewers maybe short time, or maybe long time, maybe 10 days, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Most of the time it could be 1 month. You understand? And there are a lot of things that happen in that process. So that is just it. So we have different types of review process. We have single blind process. We have double blind process, and we have open review. You understand? I think I have served as reviewers for all these 3 processes. Now I will explain it one by one. Now, single blind. You understand? One mean that. If I say blind, let me just put it. Blind mean that someone cannot see. You understand? So that's what blind means. But blind can also, in terms of what we call this, in terms of review process, it means that a journal does not require it does not want to know about the authors. The authors should be anonymous. You understand? So once you are submitting your manuscripts, do not include any anonymity of any author to attach to the manuscript. For example, if I conduct a study on measles and I'm submitting my manuscript, I have to hide my identity because of the viewers might know me, he might have some kind of conflict of interest, and he might reject my paper based on that. Perhaps maybe a friend of mine, maybe over the years, we have some conflicts over the years, and God's so good, he's fortunate to review my paper. He will just say, oh, God has catch this Malik. You understand? I'm going to reject this paper. I will make sure that I comment bad comments on this thing so that the editors will not even want to revise this for him. You understand? So it is safer for that kind of paper. And sometimes too, some journals, some reviewers don't like too many authors on a particular study. So if you were submitting a study that has too many authors, like 10 to 20, some of them will feel, oh, why are many studies? They will start questioning they call it research integrity. In fact, I think nowadays really is now that on their eyes are open now, trying to reduce a lot of journals, authors per paper. So some of them will tell you that you don't submit more than 5 don't add more than 5 authors to a paper. You understand? So it actually limits the acceptance of a such paper. So double blind and single blind, it's good so that the reviewers will not know anything about the author's affiliation, the author's name, and etc. While open review, it is actually it makes the reviewers to know the authors that are actually conducted such studies, and some of them don't really have any beef or something about it. You understand? So it has its own disadvantage, okay? Because sometimes once it creates more conflict, it creates more bias towards the authors. So some authors will be asking themselves, why did they reject this? It's not because of anything. It might be because of the peer review process. You understand? So that is why it is important. If you know that you don't want your author's affiliations to be reviewed, you need to submit your papers or your studies to journals that operate either single blind or open blind um, um, process. Now after submission, it's actually your study can undergo 3 phases. It can undergo immediate acceptance, meaning that after it has undergone peer review, you will receive a congratulatory message or email that dear so author, your studies has been accepted for publication in this journal. I will show you an example, okay, at the end of this webinar. So, and you need to maybe pay some amount of money or fill some forms, etc. Or the comments can come in that you need to revise either major revision or minor revision, okay, or rejection. You understand? So when you are responding to any reviewers, the reason why I brought this is because you need to be very respectful and clear when you are responding to reviewers. Sorry. Either it has been accepted or rejected, because some authors will feel like, oh, okay, after I have, even though they rejected my, so why would I would respond them in a disrespectful way. It's very bad. Don't disrespect any reviewers or any journal. Just simply say thank you so much for the outcome. You understand? If you are out, you can ask them if you need to, there's a way you can modify your article, you understand, for it to be accepted. Okay. And you have to address each comment if it comes with some comments, okay, respectfully. Okay. If they, for example, if a reviewer says that, okay, in your introduction section, line 1 to 2 or line 1 to 20, there are some spelling errors. and you have to address that. Okay, you say, okay, thank you so much, reviewer one or something. I have corrected these errors, and I have incorporated it into my manuscript. Then you need to provide evidence. Sometimes some reviewers will ask you, okay, to provide ethical approval. So you can, because sometimes most ethical statements are provided on request. Understand? So when you ask, they ask you the data availability statement. You can say the data is as available on request. So if you know that you that kind of statement, you have to be very sure. Research is, as I said, it's a silent process. It's not something that you can just boycott. Because most let me put most we are in Nigeria, most of us are in Nigeria as well. But let me say most Africans or some authors in some countries, they felt that okay, they can just do some kind of shortcut to publish the papers. It's not done. It's not done like that. You need to, if any written statement you put on your paper must be documented, must be evidence-based. That is research. So if you know that you don't have data available, do not put that kind of statement in your manuscript, because it can bounce back, and they can require you to provide that kind of evidence. And if you don't have the evidence, it can jeopardize your research integrity. You understand? So that's it. Then handling rejection, as I said, there are some common reasons for rejection, okay, which I've mentioned earlier, starting from your journal selection, your journal finders, formatting the manuscript, you didn't follow the guidelines, okay, either too many authors in a particular journal, in a particular manuscript, or your affiliation is not correct, for example, maybe, or there are a lot of reasons that can lead to rejection, or the content of such papers or articles or manuscripts are not even, let me say, no novelties. Majority of most of the time nowadays, students or young researchers or early career researchers are eager to publish, but they have to ask themselves, if we submit this study, for example, is there any novelty in this study? You understand? Now, malaria is a common disease in the tropics, sub-Saharan Africa, and there are a lot of research has been done on malaria. Now, if you want to conduct a study on malaria now, before you go ahead, before you waste your time, before you undergo that kind of rigorous process, or process in conducting such study or writing such manuscript, you have to ask yourself, is there any novelty that we improve? In fact, some journals will even ask you to state what has been known, about this particular topic, and what is your study or manuscript adding to the existing literature. You understand? So that they will not even waste their time to review it. You understand? They will not waste their time. So if you think that malaria is caused by falciparum, or let me say, P. falciparum, and it is there are thousands of people died of malaria per day or per minute. So, and your manuscript is not actually improving. You are still saying what is malaria has been. You said malaria has been done. You are not actually talking about, maybe you are trying to improve how to improve vaccine acceptance, among under 5 children parents in a particular. So if you are not seeing that, or how can the vaccines of that's RTS, malaria vaccines, how can it be incorporated, in a chip? Maybe you want to develop a IQ. These are new things that people want to be saying when you're talking about malaria. You understand? Or if you want to go into cost effectiveness of malaria treatments, you have to talk about, okay, if it's policy making research you want to do, you have to talk about how can the policymakers in a particular study, setting, either the low income, middle income countries, how can they, make malaria treatment cheaper? How can the community dwellers, have more access to malaria treatment centers? How can the primary health care centers, these are the things that you need to be, putting in such malaria, because malaria is now, malaria research or topics are now rampant. So you need to think of novelty. So it could be one of the reasons why rejections of manuscripts are taking place. Now, how do you revise your manuscript? Because sometimes the reasons for rejections lies in revision strategies. If your strategies towards responding, you are not respectful, or you are using some kind of vulgar words or vulgar comments in your revision, it pisses some reviewers. Yeah, someone like me, when you see some comments, you just feel like, oh, is this person trying to see as if I'm very, I'm a very traditional person? You understand? So respect is reciprocal. So, and you are the one that is looking for something from these journals, and you need to be very, very wise and smart when you are revising your studies. So then, learning from feedback. You understand? Some authors are arrogant. Sorry to say that. Some authors are arrogant, or some writers are arrogant. They felt that they are all knower. I mean, they are the alim of their studies. And knowledge is not confined to a person. You might be a professor in particular field, but maybe a medical doctor or a house officer, even a medical student can feel like, okay, he has maybe recently discovered something new. And you, a professor, you submit a study, and it's maybe you see the reviewer and say, oh, this person, oh, why did you reject my? So you might feel as if arrogantly telling the person that no, 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 you cannot reject my study. So if you keep doing that, you will not, your studies might not be accepted. You understand? And that's some of the things that someone have to take into consideration too. You understand? Then, what are the best practices? Of course, number one, even though I didn't put it there, you need to have an expert, okay, that is handling your manuscripts. You understand? An expert, it could be someone that has maybe many publications or a little few publications in your field. Okay, try to make that person a corresponding author. Everybody cannot be a corresponding author because it's very tedious. You can imagine you submit papers to like 10 journals, and those journals are sending feedbacks every day. It is actually a work. It's actually a work. It's not easy. You understand? You've seen that, okay, oh, this person needs to get back to me at a particular time. So you need someone that can work under pressure, can try to manage his or her time very well, can track submission. Because there are some papers that will be submitted like 2-3 months ago. And the person that submitted it, the correspondent that submitted it, is a nonchalant person. So it will be difficult for the co-authors to find. I know it's not easy when you are handling multiple submissions. You understand? So, but one of the best practices is that you need someone that can track your study, your manuscript submission, so that you can be able to, have an account or be accountable for that study. Either it has been accepted, either it in revision, either it has been as rejected, either you need to submit it to another journal. Yes, mind you, do not narrow yourself to a particular journal that, yes, I must submit my paper to the best journal in the world. Yes, you understand? Yes, no, now there are some world-leading journals that for the likes of the Lancet, BMJ Open, BMJ this, BMJ that, BMC, Stringent Nature journals, Surgery journals, a lot of journals. Now, you have to look at the fact that, okay, what is the chance? What is the chance of me getting my paper accepting in this kind of journal? You understand? Because there are some journals that they will not even publish any kind of studies. Either you do systematic review or you do original studies. The kind of journal needs to accept or publish a world-breaking or groundbreaking research. You understand? Or one study that has never been conducted before. There are some journals like that. They will specifically tell you that, sorry, please, due to the number of articles submitted in our journals, we have limited space. They will tell you that we have limited space to what? To accept this journal. Not that your study is not good. You understand? So that you should not feel bad. So they will tell you. So you need to choose wisely, select wisely. Sorry. Then collaboration. Who are your team members? Ask yourself, who are my team members? You know, there are some team members that they are just interested in publications. They're just interested in, okay, I want my name to appear in paper. There are people like that. Okay, yes. Where some people are interested in working to see how can I work effectively? How can I get how can I also have some kind of experience in actually article preparation, article writing, review and editing, figure image creation, etc. So you have to understand the kind of team members that you are working with. It will help you it will save you stress, especially in terms of rejection. Then the use of reference managers. Yeah, I think I omitted this. When you are writing or preparing a manuscript, or conducting research, you have to understand, of course, the journal requirements in terms of referencing. Referencing is another topic on its own. You understand? So you need to know this journal that I'll be submitting my paper to, or my study to, or my manuscript to. What is the type of referencing style they are interested in? Is it Vancouver? Is it APA? That's American Psychological Association. Is it Chicago? Is it IEE? There are a lot of referencing styles. The most common used is the Vancouver, Vancouver, right? Or the American Medical Association, AMA. You understand? So you need to understand this. Then there are managers that can help you to, put these things together, such as the Mendeli, the Zotero, even the what they call the Rayan managers too. They can help you to see how these things can be properly arranged, because referencing is not something that a researcher should joke with. Sometimes you see someone that reference anyhow. Maybe the author's names are not complete, or instead of the person trying to list the first three authors and write a talk after. Some writers will match all the authors' names together, 5, 10, 20. You see, and it is not like that. So you need to study the kind of formatting guidelines of a particular, then have a particular reference type installed in your laptop, so that once you have mastered that kind of, I personally use Mendeley, you understand? So when you master that, you can actually, it will save you stress. So once you have those referencing, your articles listed, or uploaded in that particular reference manager, when you want to reference, you just go and click on that particular article or the study that you want to reference. It will help you to arrange and to save you stress. So that's one of the best practices. Now, in conclusion, as I said, publishing is a journey. Okay, yeah, it's a journey that it needs an extraordinary patience. You understand? Researchers have to be patient. It's not something that you rush. You need to be patient. If you want a quality work, you have to be very, very patient. It's not easy, especially now that people are intimidated with publications. You understand? So it's a journey that someone has to be very careful about. People say maybe, oh, this person this our speaker has 150 something publications, he has something citation. My profile has been built over the years. I started my research journey, I think 2020, during that COVID-19 period, 2020, 2021, late 2021, late 2020, early 2021, and to date. You understand? It's not easy because of a lot of things that comes, around it. You personally, with your team members, with even sometimes your family members, and etc. You need to try to shuffle around it. So, but by the way, if you want to go into a publishing or publication, you have to be very patient. Then you have to be persistent. You understand? Persistence matters. After patience, you have to persist. Persistent in terms of you have to be consistent. Just like you that you want to be a footballer. Footballer has to practice, go to training every time, so that once his team member, passes to him, he will be able to shoot at the right time. So that is how it is. So you as a researcher, you have to be persistent. So you try to avail yourself to conduct several studies, like different studies, and try to study, do some kind of self-study. You can just say, okay, today I want to just look at some journals, just Google, play around with Google search. The way people play around with their social media. So if you know that you want to be a publisher, you have to dedicate your time. You understand? Then, as I said, professionality wins. So once you are expert in what you do, you win the game. You understand? You must not be found wanting about what you think, what you say people know about. So you need to be expert in what you do. So by and large, I thank you everyone for being present, tonight. And I apologize for my delay. You understand? So if you have any questions or any additions, you can let me know. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful presentation.
You are welcome.
We really learned a lot. So I would enjoin each and every one of you. This is the opportunity. You remember I said in the beginning, um, our speaker today has a lot of experience, especially in this manuscript submission. So this is your chance. The things that are unclear to you on what was discussed today, you can ask now so that it will be clarified. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
It's regarding the rejection of. I really enjoyed the presentation today. Thank you very much
You
for
are
taking
welcome.
out of your time. And regarding the rejection of papers, I don't know if I don't know if I got it. If you said it and I missed it, but is it
Okay.
possible for us to send papers to different journals, and then whoever accepts it, or must it be one journal at a time, or can you just send it out to different journals and then expect their reply?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Yes, a lot of people or researchers have been tempted over the time to submit, to have to do multiple submissions. Okay, so the reason why I will not recommend or advise anyone to do that, because of um, research ethics. In anything you do research, there are ethics that guide it. So if you for example, now if you submit your journal in BMJ Open and you submit it to another journal, for example, Annals of Medicine and Surgery, or another journal, like let's say three journals. Now, there could be some conflict of interest, between the reviewers. Now, if, for example, I'm one of the reviewers and your friend is another reviewer of another journal, and that journal, those three journals sent the articles to review for review process. And for example, I now come across the paper, your friend that's maybe knows you or somewhere, and see it, and he can contact the journal that, oh, this person has sent this story to me, and another person. So it will actually jeopardize the research credibility, because you are trying to gamble. You understand? So you are trying to gamble, and so you just have to wait, because another thing is that if a journal accepts that paper, and some journals are very fast, for example, fast in publication. For example, I think Elsevier is a very fast journal that once they accept it, your journal, your paper like this, before it undergo final production, final publication, some of them will assign DOI, that's digital object identifier. They will assign it immediately. You understand? They will even tell you publish maybe ahead of print, the PAP. You understand? So, and unfortunately, you have submitted it another job paper. So it looks some kind of conflict. So they can actually withdraw the paper at the end, because immediately, let me tell you something. Journals used to have this kind of I put it now, process now, or let me say tradition or culture. They will, once you submit a paper, a journal to them, a manuscript to them, they will look at the title, and they have a software. They will find out, is this topic has been published before? You understand? So I have this kind of experience. They will ask, has it been published before or not? So once it's published before, once it has been assigned DOI, that DOI can limit limit acceptance of your paper. So once you submit multiple journals, it is not good, because it will counter everything, and they will feel as if maybe you plagiarize that study. So you have to be very careful in doing kind of such they call it theft, right? So you have to be very, very careful. So what I advise is that you just have to submit it at a time. If you submit a journal, or try to submit to a journal that has a high impact factor, that do their review process, quickly. So if you submit it to Frontiers, is one of the Frontiers journals are very fast. If you submit it to them, they can do review, they call it internal review, before they send to external peer review. You understand? So we want to do internal review. So they will understand. They will confirm if your manuscript will undergo peer review, external peer review, and if it should be assigned to an editor. So immediately they are assigned to an editor. Editor will assign it to. So they will try to, give you a decision as quick as possible. So if unfortunately it was rejected, you understand, which you should not feel bad. Some of these journals will themselves even suggest or recommend journals that you can submit it, that can even accept, because sometimes some journals are actually not happy when they reject papers, especially Springer Nature, you understand, and Willy. And if the editor feel that, okay, this paper or manuscript that you submitted can still benefit the scientific community, they will try to recommend. They will suggest. They will recommend that, okay, choose from this. And you too, now you have to now choose. You have to choose, as I said, check the impact factor, check the acceptance rate, because some journals will tell you that they have 1.9% acceptance rate, meaning that if you submit this, there's a chance for you to be rejected. Some of them will tell you they have 30% acceptance rate. Some of them will tell you 40%. Some of them will tell you 50%. So go for journals that have higher acceptance rates, okay, a moderate high impact factor, so that you should save you submitting to different or multiple journals at a time. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
You are welcome. Any other questions?
Good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for the for the session. We really enjoyed it. Sir, please, I have 2 questions. The first one is, how were you able to, because one of the things that has been so intimidating for me is that heavy academic writing you see in research papers. So my first question is, how have you been able to build that skill of writing that academically? Then the second thing, sir, is you have been very experienced in this, and you also said you're an editor, and I would like to ask, for beginners that are just starting to learn about research today, what is your biggest advice you give to us?
Okay, thank you, sir, Mr. Abdullahi. Okay, all right. So my own personal research journey is actually let me say, alhamdulillah, is amazing. You understand? Because I started as a volunteer before, honestly. You understand? And of course, I have passion for writing even before I entered medical school. You understand? I like writing, you know, and a lot of, I've just discovered that this is my passion and this is my calling, writing. You know, I have, when I was in JSS3, I have tried to write a book, which I didn't publish that book. You understand? Even when I've not even entered science school, science class then. So I have seen that I will be fit in doing writing, in writing. Now, someone like me, I am also someone that's very inquisitive. I like to ask, I'm curious about a lot of things, trying to ask questions, trying to solve problems. So, and I felt that this is my area. Then, starting as a volunteer, with this medical research cycle, actually, I started as a volunteer and okay, or let me say, there was this organization that I started before, Only Yet Magazine, that's OHMO, then, at around that 2020. So I try to, manage people together, to see how we can form teams. So using that opportunity, we try to, write and write and write. You understand? I supervise research work. I myself write it myself. So and that's how Allah make it, established. You understand? Try to create time for it is not actually easy because as you grow in what you do, you tend to have more collaborators, more maybe stakeholders that want to even, some of them want to even invest, some of them want to even give you funding opportunities. So that's how it actually grows. You understand? So it's not actually easy. You understand? But as I said, persistence is the key. You understand? What you love to do the most. Some people can spend their all the 24 hours given to them on social media. But like you will see them tweeting, just like someone that have like 10,000 followers on social media. You'll be wondering how come. It started from just as with one follower, but the more he tweets or the more he posts on Instagram, the more the prompt will be coming. And if God helps you in what you do, you can grow within a space of time. You understand? So that is how I started the journey. So may Allah make it easy for everybody. You understand? So then the other question you asked regarding for beginners, yes, as I said, I started as a volunteer. Now, if you really want to, if you have passion for something, you understand, you don't mind the challenges that will come in. You understand? I believe everybody is medically oriented, or maybe a medical student or a doctor or something. So once you enter something, like you want to enter something, so you will tell yourself that no matter how it is, God will help me, and I will continue doing it. You understand? Some people will even come and discourage you, that you should not go further. You should try and so you don't mind those people that discourage you. You move along with someone that can help you in that aspect. You understand? You understand? So once you are a beginner and you want to start writing, or you don't become an editor one day. You don't become a reviewer one day. I said as a volunteer, and the first paper I reviewed, it was one of my friends in Congo that just messaged me and said, okay, please, you want me to read about, they don't understand English like that. So I remember the first paper I published with them, it was on antimicrobial resistance. So he sent me his sent it on WhatsApp, and I just check it, and he said, okay, please, we want to publish this paper, and that's I just included my name. Yes, I didn't even know about it. And that's what the paper, wow. Then I now start continue sending it. So, and again, the more you publish paper, the more you are recognized, especially if you are a corresponding author. So if you are a corresponding author, you are corresponding with the journals. So they will be sending you emails. You understand? And the more you do that, you too will be growing. Just like you started under level as a student till you reach this other level. You understand? So that's how it is. You start as someone that is small and you become big. So the more expertise you have in this, your curriculum vitae or CV is being built up, right? So once you yourself will feel that, okay, I am ready for this role. You understand? So you feel like, okay, I have attained certain level or experience in my field, then I can just try. When you see some positions online, okay, calling for reviewers, calling for peer reviewers, or calling for editors, and you feel that you yourself, you know that I can apply for this. So you just try and apply. And if others wish, you can be granted that kind of application or position. And from there, you create your time for those things, because to whom much is given, to whom one is expected, right? So you need to avail yourself. Yes. So if you know that you have not attended that kind of positions, don't even try. You're like someone that don't want to study medicine and is scared of, of not, he doesn't want to read. He doesn't have a good jam score. You cannot get that kind of course. You understand? So once you attend position, or yeah, a particular position, you feel, okay, this is the right time for me, and you go for it. So in between, there will be some rejections. Yes, don't mind. With all those publications you have seen, I still have several rejections that I have not even tampered with. I've not even touched, that I am trying to even work on. You understand? But those rejections should not limit you from growing. You know, an infant, or let me say a baby that's trying to crawl, you understand, trying to reach some developmental milestone, right? You need to, the infant has to try to crawl. If you not crawl, you will not be able to reach that. You will not be able to even stand up and walk. You understand? So that's anxiety. So you don't be scared of what you want. You understand? In as much those things you want are not really around, or they are not harmful to anybody and yourself, so you can go for it. So I think that will make you stronger. You understand what I mean? So I hope it answers your question. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Any other question?
Yes, hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa
Before
alaikum salam.
that, thank you very much, sir. It's Tajuddin
Yeah.
Adam.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, I would want to use this opportunity to throw out a big thank you to you.
All right. Thank
As
you.
you've taken your time, taking up arms to come and join us here in this our research training. For those of us that don't know, we've said a lot about Dr. Malik. Is a mentor to me, to almost everyone here in the team, in one way or the other, somewhere or another, because he has been mentoring a lot of medical students worldwide for a long period of time, and he's been into a lot of programs in NIMSA and the rest, where he's been mentoring research minds and early career researchers. So he is one of the kinds that we have here, especially in the north. So, and he's always willing to come to this kind of program and to mentor people like us. And he has been an encouragement and also a mirror that we can do it. And as if he comes to trainings like that, he always encourages us and give us scholarly advice and advice from based on his experience. So he agreed
Thank
to
you
be
so
with us
much.
here and agreed to mentor us all the time. So this is a very big thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I extend the thanks from all of the members of the club. Thank you very much, sir. And we
You're
ask
welcome.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take you on an unlimited high and grant you success in all your life. Thank you very much, sir.
I mean, and you too. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope I will be able to do more.
Thank you, sir.
Any
So,
other question?
Abdullah, Dr. Malik has actually did justice to the questions that you've asked, and here everybody has a story. I'm also of one of the. I have also something to say briefly about this research training or about this research writing that you've seen. I've started my journey also from preclinicals when I don't even know what I was doing. I don't know if I've mentioned that, but then I had the passion and then I knew what I wanted. So from reading papers when I don't even understand clearly, like a preclinical student, somebody that is not a fully medical student. So I just read the papers and then I barely understand. So when I started getting to understand what I want, what I am doing, how or what I am supposed to do, and a lot of people discouraged me that what I'm doing is just something that I cannot do. It cannot be. I cannot be able to navigate it together with my academics. And so, yeah, I am. Now I have some experience. I have published papers, and then I'm still here in medical school, and I never had any problem, any issue with my academics, alhamdulillah. So I don't think it's something that is going to intimidate you as long as you know how to plan and as long as you know what you are doing. If I would surprise you, I would tell you that Dr. Malik Olatunde had more than 60 plus publications when he was a medical student before he graduated. I even knew him then, even though it is a far knowing, but I know he has more than 60 publications before he graduated as a medical student. So it is nothing there. You can navigate through research and whatever you want at medical school. Nothing is going to stop you. It just depends on your own determination and what you want. Just go for it. So thank you very much.
You are welcome. You are welcome. By God's grace, I hope this team can become more greater than me, inshallah, so that you know you'll be well known when you
Yes.
go out of the country. Yeah, one of my research, I don't know, mentee is Umuke, and I think she's here. She has been very consistent too. And alhamdulillah, she's maybe you should know her because she's also a NIMSA advocate. So she can also testify
Okay.
to.
Yes, I've seen some
So
of
she
her
can.
publications.
She's from ABU's area. So a lot of, I should say, a lot of students,
Good evening,
both.
sir.
Yeah, good evening. You're welcome. So a lot of students,
Thank
both
you,
in
sir.
Nigeria and other countries, they have benefited from research. Yes, alhamdulillah. So I just I just encourage students to manage that. If it's just a piece of writing that you can do, either by yourself, and you give your either supervisor or research mentor to check for you, you can always, people will always try. It's just like medical students try to clerk patients. When you don't understand, you go to your professors, your registrars, it will get you through on clerking. So, and as you know, medicine is an art. You understand? So the more you do it, the more you better in it. You understand? So I don't be discouraged. You understand? In life, what makes you an exceptional student or person is your extra work you do for yourself. Let me give you an example of a popular footballer. Ronaldo is a very popular footballer that people like. You understand? But he himself is a very hardworking person. He do a lot of hard work to reach his stage, which will even give him fame, wealth. So in anything you do, try to give your best in it. Yeah, it might not be easy, but by God's grace, it's your hard working will be rewarding. So that's it. May Allah continue to straighten our affairs and ease our affairs. So, if you have any other questions?
All right. So thank you very much, sir. I think in the absence of questions, yeah, Dr. Malik has said he's going to be with us, inshallah, during our practical sessions. So I hope Khair to be here with us.
All
So
right.
inshallah, we look forward to that.
Yes. Okay, please, can I share the slide?
So yes, sir, please.
Okay,
Please, you can
can
share it
I
to me.
share? Okay, I'll share to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, or I think I can share it to everyone. Yes, I think.
All right. So Ismail, I think you can close the meeting.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, let me share it. I don't know, maybe. Okay, I will share it through this the chat. The chat. Maybe you can download it.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. It's okay.
okay. I think it's
Ismail,
coming.
please you can okay. Ismail, please you can close the meeting. Thank
All
Okay,
right.
I have shared it. Have you seen it in the chat
you. Okay.
box?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, we have seen it.
Okay, you can download it, and I will also maybe send it to your WhatsApp.
All right.
All right. So
Thank
good night,
you.
everyone.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. You're
We
welcome.
are really motivated.
All
And
right.
if the session is recorded, I'll be uploading it to the drive. So if anyone wants to go back and review what has been done so far.
All right.
So a quick reminder: today is Saturday. Tomorrow, Sunday, we'll be hosting Dr. Malik again, and inshallah, next week we'll be having the practical session. So sessions are concluding latest within this week. That is the didactic learning in the online sessions. By next week Sunday, we would have our physical session. So within the week also the quizzes and the analytical sessions will take place. So I do enjoin everyone to go through all that we have done and prepare for that. So, a quick reminder. Sorry, give me a minute. So as I was saying, a quick reminder. The MPP, as I've said in previous sessions, is that is the Mentorship Peer Connect program. Our project is merit based. So as we approach the end of these lectures, please remember that the admission is not automatic. We are looking for the most passionate, determined, and engaged participants. Following our final classes within this week, we will conduct an analytical session to test practical applications and understanding. There, you'll be able to ask all the questions that you've had. So, begin to gather all the things that you don't understand in the analytical sessions, is where we clear everything out. Then, we have a final assessment, that is a test. So, only those who prove their dedication through attendance, engagement, and their performance in these evaluations will be grouped into the MPP for hands-on research. This is your chance to show us that you are ready for the real-world application. So thank you, everyone. I won't be keeping you much longer, and we meet tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. Thank you. Good night.